Curiosity is the engine that drives discovery, innovation, and ultimately fulfillment. To embrace curiosity means to maintain a restless desire to understand, explore, and learn beyond what is comfortable or obvious. It's about constantly asking questions, challenging assumptions, and seeking deeper meaning in everything you encounter. In a world overflowing with information and opportunities, the true differentiator lies in how deeply you engage with your interests and passions. Passion fuels perseverance. It transforms work from a chore into a calling. When you follow what genuinely excites you, it doesn't feel like work, it becomes a source of energy and creativity. This is why it's vital not to settle for paths chosen because they seem safe, prestigious, or expected by others. Instead, dig deep to uncover what sparks your enthusiasm, because that is where your best work and your truest self emerge. Curiosity also requires courage. It means stepping into the unknown, admitting that you don't have all the answers, and being willing to experiment and sometimes fail. But this is where growth happens. If you stick only to what is familiar, you limit your potential. By embracing curiosity, you open yourself to new experiences that can transform your understanding of yourself and the world. The process of exploration shapes your perspective and broadens your horizons, allowing you to see connections others miss and discover opportunities that lie hidden beneath the surface. It's this mindset that drives innovation and progress, whether in technology, art, science, or any other field. Following your passion is equally crucial because it provides the motivation to persevere through challenges. Passionate engagement sustains long-term effort when external rewards seem distant or uncertain. It is the internal fire that pushes you to improve, to learn more, and to keep going even when the path is difficult. Many people drift through life, following prescribed goals like earning a certain degree or landing a particular job, without ever connecting those goals to a deeper purpose. This often leads to dissatisfaction or burnout. By contrast, when your work aligns with your passion, the obstacles become part of the journey rather than roadblocks. Passion transforms setbacks into lessons and hardships into fuel. Embracing curiosity and following your passion also mean valuing process over outcome. The destination is important, but the richness of the journey lies in the discovery, experimentation, and growth along the way. When you focus solely on goals or external markers of success, you risk losing sight of the learning and creativity that make life meaningful. Curiosity invites you to enjoy the present moment, to be open to surprises, and to find joy in the act of learning itself. This perspective cultivates resilience because your sense of purpose is not tied only to achievements, but to continuous engagement with what matters to you. Furthermore, being curious and passionate enables you to adapt in a rapidly changing world. The future is unpredictable, and the skills or knowledge you acquire today may become obsolete. Those who thrive are not necessarily those with the most rigid plans, but those who remain flexible, open-minded, and willing to evolve. Curiosity pushes you to stay informed, to seek new experiences, and to embrace lifelong learning. Passion sustains this engagement by giving you a reason to keep growing, to innovate, and to contribute in ways that resonate with your core values. This approach also fosters originality. When you allow yourself to be curious and follow your passions, you begin to develop your unique voice and vision. Instead of copying what others do or what has been done before, you explore uncharted territory. This originality not only benefits you personally, but also advances the collective progress of society. Innovation thrives on fresh perspectives, and those who dare to follow their inner curiosity and passion often pioneer new ideas that shape the future. Finally, embracing curiosity and following your passion is about authenticity. It's about honoring who you are rather than conforming to external expectations or societal pressures. When you live in alignment with your curiosity and passion, you create a life that feels meaningful and true to yourself. This authenticity resonates with others and attracts opportunities that fit your values and talents. It builds confidence as you become less reliant on external validation and more grounded in your own sense of purpose. In summary, curiosity and passion are not luxuries or optional extras. They are fundamental to a life well lived. They unlock potential, sustain motivation, foster innovation, and cultivate authenticity. By embracing curiosity, you commit to continuous growth and discovery. By following your passion, you fuel the perseverance necessary to turn dreams into reality. Together, they create a powerful force that propels you beyond limitations and into a future shaped by your unique vision and contributions. This is the mindset that empowers you to design a life of impact and fulfillment, beyond what you might have imagined possible. Resilience in the face of failure is the hallmark of true progress and achievement. Failure is not just an occasional setback. It is an inevitable part of the journey toward mastery and innovation. When you encounter failure, it's crucial to understand that it is not a reflection of your worth or potential, but a necessary step in the learning process. Resilience means the ability to absorb the shock of defeat, analyze what went wrong, and then use that knowledge to push forward with greater clarity and determination. It is the grit that keeps you moving when circumstances seem impossible and the path ahead is shrouded in uncertainty. The fear of failure often paralyzes individuals before they even begin, causing many to settle for mediocrity or abandon their dreams prematurely. Yet, those who achieve extraordinary success see failure as feedback, an opportunity to adjust, refine, and improve. Instead of internalizing failure as a final judgment, they view it as data. What lessons can be extracted? What new strategies can be devised? What blind spots have been revealed? This mindset transforms failure from a source of shame into a catalyst for growth. Resilience also requires a certain level of emotional intelligence. When you fail, it's natural to feel frustration, disappointment, or even self-doubt. The key is not to suppress these emotions, but to acknowledge and process them constructively. Building resilience means developing the ability to regulate your emotional response so that it doesn't derail your progress. This emotional regulation helps maintain focus and optimism, allowing you to stay committed to your goals despite obstacles. It creates a mental environment where creativity and problem-solving can thrive, even under pressure. Moreover, resilience is often built through experience. Each time you face a challenge and persist, you strengthen your capacity to endure future hardships. This cumulative resilience is what separates those who endure from those who give up. It's not about avoiding failure, but about cultivating a mindset that sees setbacks as temporary and surmountable. Resilient individuals don't just survive failure, they come out stronger and more capable on the other side. Another important aspect of resilience is the willingness to take responsibility. When you own your failures instead of blaming external factors, you empower yourself to make meaningful changes. This ownership fosters a proactive attitude that drives continuous improvement. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you become an agent of your own destiny. This shift in perspective is vital because it places control back in your hands, enabling you to navigate setbacks with intention rather than helplessness. Resilience also plays a crucial role in innovation. Breakthrough ideas often come after repeated attempts and failures. Many inventions and discoveries were preceded by numerous unsuccessful trials. The ability to persevere despite failure allows you to iterate, refine, and eventually create something truly groundbreaking. Without resilience, the fear of failure can stifle creativity and prevent you from pushing boundaries. But with resilience, failure becomes a stepping stone toward innovation and excellence. In addition to personal resilience, building a support network is essential. Surrounding yourself with people who encourage you, provide honest feedback, and believe in your vision can reinforce your ability to bounce back. Collaboration and mentorship offer perspectives that you might miss when you are too close to a problem. They also provide emotional support that can help you endure tough times. Resilience is not about going it alone, but about leveraging relationships that help you stay motivated and accountable. Resilience is also deeply connected to having a clear sense of purpose. When your goals align with your values and passions, you are more likely to endure setbacks because the journey itself holds meaning. Purpose gives you the strength to keep going when immediate results are not visible. It creates a longer horizon, reminding you that failure today is just a small part of a much bigger story. This alignment between purpose and perseverance fosters not only resilience, but also satisfaction and fulfillment in your endeavors. Furthermore, resilience encourages adaptability. The world is constantly changing, and rigid plans often falter in the face of new challenges. Resilient individuals are flexible. They pivot when necessary and adjust their strategies to fit evolving conditions. This adaptability reduces the fear of failure because it expands your options and opens new pathways to success. Instead of viewing failure as a dead end, resilient people see it as a fork in the road that invites exploration and creativity. Building resilience also involves cultivating a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. This mindset contrasts with a fixed mindset where failure is seen as a permanent limitation. When you adopt a growth mindset, you embrace challenges, persist through difficulties, and view effort as a pathway to mastery. This perspective fuels resilience by framing failure as an essential part of growth rather than a barrier. In practice, developing resilience requires intentional habits. Reflecting on failures with honesty, seeking constructive criticism, setting realistic expectations, and maintaining a routine that supports mental and physical well-being all contribute to strengthening resilience. It is a continuous process that demands self-awareness and discipline, but the payoff is immense. Resilience not only helps you overcome failure, but also enhances your ability to seize opportunities, innovate boldly, and lead with confidence. Ultimately, resilience in the face of failure transforms adversity into advantage. It allows you to stay committed to your vision, learn from every experience, and emerge stronger. This mindset is the foundation of remarkable achievements because it turns obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into springboards for success. The ability to bounce back with renewed energy and insight is what differentiates those who create lasting impact from those who fade away. Resilience is not just a skill, it is a way of approaching life that empowers you to navigate uncertainty with courage and purpose. Embracing uncertainty is one of the most challenging yet essential aspects of pursuing a meaningful and impactful life. Uncertainty is inherent in innovation, growth, and transformation. No path to greatness is linear or predictable. Instead, it is filled with unknowns that test your resolve and creativity. Learning to accept and even welcome uncertainty allows you to operate from a place of openness rather than fear. It encourages exploration and discovery instead of hesitation and doubt. When you embrace uncertainty, you shift your mindset from needing control and certainty to valuing curiosity and adaptability. This shift is crucial because the future is always unknowable in its details. Planning is important, but rigid adherence to plans can limit your ability to respond to new information or unexpected challenges. Those who excel are not necessarily those who have everything figured out from the start, but those who are willing to take risks, make adjustments, and keep moving forward despite not knowing the entire path ahead. Embracing uncertainty also means cultivating comfort with discomfort. The unknown often brings anxiety, but anxiety is not a signal to stop, it's a signal to engage more deeply with the moment and your mission. Rather than retreating to safety, you learn to sit with the discomfort, understanding that it is temporary and part of the process. This resilience in the face of discomfort builds mental toughness and expands your capacity to handle bigger challenges. It prepares you for the inevitable twists and turns that life and work present. Another important facet of embracing uncertainty is the recognition that failure and setbacks are not endpoints, but essential components of experimentation and learning. When you step into the unknown, you cannot predict all outcomes, and failure becomes an expected part of the process. Viewing failure as data rather than defeat allows you to iterate and improve. This mindset fosters a culture of experimentation where bold ideas can be tested and refined without fear of judgment. Embracing uncertainty means giving yourself permission to try, fail, and try again. Innovation thrives in environments where uncertainty is embraced. Some of the most transformative technologies and ideas emerged because someone was willing to explore uncharted territory, question established norms, and tolerate ambiguity. This willingness to operate without clear guarantees is what separates leaders and pioneers from followers. It requires vision, courage, and a deep trust in your ability to learn and adapt as you progress. Furthermore, embracing uncertainty encourages humility and openness. When you acknowledge that you do not have all the answers, you become more open to input, collaboration, and diverse perspectives. This openness enriches your understanding and sparks creativity. It prevents the arrogance of certainty, which can blind you to new possibilities. Humility in uncertainty means being willing to pivot or change course based on new insights, rather than clinging to outdated assumptions. The practice of embracing uncertainty is also deeply tied to mindfulness and presence. When the future is uncertain, it's easy to become consumed by what-ifs and worries. However, by focusing on the present moment, what you can do right now, you maintain clarity and effectiveness. Mindfulness reduces the noise of anxiety and helps you make decisions grounded in reality rather than fear. It also nurtures patience, reminding you that progress often unfolds in increments and not all at once. Importantly, embracing uncertainty is not about reckless risk-taking. It's about calculated risk informed by research, intuition, and values. It involves weighing potential benefits and consequences, but ultimately being willing to act despite not having absolute certainty. This balance between courage and caution is what enables sustainable progress. It's the difference between paralysis by analysis and blind impulsiveness. When you embrace uncertainty, you also develop a stronger sense of purpose. The unknown becomes an adventure rather than a threat. Your focus shifts from controlling outcomes to committing fully to your mission and values. This sense of purpose anchors you through volatility and ambiguity, providing motivation and direction even when the path is unclear. It's what fuels perseverance and keeps you aligned with what truly matters. Moreover, embracing uncertainty fosters resilience at a systemic level. Organizations and teams that cultivate a culture accepting of uncertainty are more agile and better equipped to navigate disruption. They encourage learning, experimentation, and rapid iteration. This adaptability becomes a competitive advantage in fast-changing environments. Leaders who embody comfort with uncertainty inspire their teams to do the same, creating a shared capacity to innovate and thrive. To cultivate the ability to embrace uncertainty, it's helpful to develop specific habits. Regular reflection on your fears and assumptions helps identify where resistance to uncertainty lies. Seeking out new experiences and challenges stretches your comfort zone. Engaging in continuous learning builds confidence in your ability to acquire new skills and knowledge. Building strong relationships provides a support system to lean on during ambiguous times. These practices enhance your tolerance for uncertainty and empower you to act decisively. In essence, embracing uncertainty is about seeing the unknown not as an obstacle, but as fertile ground for growth and possibility. It transforms fear into curiosity, paralysis into action, and confusion into clarity. It liberates you from the illusion of control and opens you to a dynamic process of exploration and innovation. This mindset enables you to navigate complexity with grace and courage, turning uncertainty into a powerful ally on your journey toward impact and fulfillment. Failure is often seen as the ultimate setback, a mark of inadequacy or incompetence. However, reimagining failure as an essential part of growth transforms how we approach challenges and innovation. Failure is not the opposite of success. Rather, it is an integral step on the path toward achievement. Every breakthrough, every great idea, and every significant accomplishment is preceded by moments of failure, disappointment, and struggle. Recognizing this reality allows individuals to develop resilience, persistence, and a mindset geared toward learning rather than fearing mistakes. Failure provides the most direct and honest feedback available. When an idea, project, or effort does not succeed, it reveals crucial information about what does not work, what assumptions were flawed, and what needs adjustment. This information is invaluable because it offers a clearer understanding of the landscape in which you operate. Without failure, you risk remaining in ignorance or complacency, never pushing beyond the boundaries of what is comfortable or known. Each failure narrows the gap between where you are and where you want to be by eliminating ineffective paths. Learning from failure requires a deliberate and reflective approach. It is not enough to simply experience setbacks. One must analyze them critically and extract lessons. This process involves asking honest questions. Why did this happen? What could I have done differently? What factors were outside my control? What patterns emerge across multiple failures? These inquiries foster self-awareness and strategic thinking. They help transform emotional responses of frustration or shame into constructive insights and renewed motivation. Failure also cultivates humility, an often overlooked but vital quality in leadership and innovation. When you fail, you confront your limitations and vulnerabilities. This confrontation can be uncomfortable, but it grounds you in reality and tempers arrogance. Humility opens the door to collaboration and mentorship because it acknowledges that you don't have all the answers and can benefit from others' perspectives. It creates a culture where risks are shared and learning is collective, amplifying the potential for creative problem solving. Moreover, the fear of failure frequently holds people back more than failure itself. Fear leads to avoidance, procrastination, or half-hearted efforts that undermine progress. By reframing failure as a natural and necessary stage of growth, you disarm that fear. You develop courage, the willingness to take bold steps despite the possibility of setbacks. This courage is what fuels experimentation, innovation, and the breakthrough ideas that change industries and societies. Embracing failure means embracing uncertainty and stepping into the unknown with confidence. Organizations that foster a culture accepting of failure tend to be more innovative and adaptive. They encourage their teams to test hypotheses, take calculated risks, and view setbacks as learning opportunities rather than reasons for punishment or blame. This environment accelerates development cycles and drives continuous improvement. It empowers individuals to contribute ideas without fear, knowing that failure is not a career-ending event but part of the collective journey toward success. It's important to differentiate between productive failure and repeated negligence. Failure becomes a source of growth only when it is accompanied by reflection, adjustment, and renewed effort. Repeating the same mistakes without learning drains resources and morale. Thus, responsible failure includes accountability and a commitment to evolve. This balance ensures that failure propels progress rather than stagnation. Resilience, the ability to recover quickly from difficulties, is strengthened by experiencing and overcoming failure. Each time you face a setback and continue forward, you build mental toughness and emotional strength. This resilience becomes a compounding asset, preparing you for larger challenges and setbacks ahead. It teaches patience and persistence, qualities that are often more predictive of long-term success than talent or intelligence alone. On a personal level, failure humbles your ego but enlarges your character. It shifts your identity from being defined solely by achievements to being shaped by your capacity to persevere, adapt, and grow. This identity fosters a mindset oriented toward lifelong learning and self-improvement. It reduces the stigma attached to mistakes and encourages a more compassionate relationship with yourself and others. Failure also highlights the importance of perspective. A setback that feels devastating in the moment often appears differently in hindsight, as a critical turning point or a necessary detour that ultimately led to greater opportunities. Adopting a long-term perspective helps mitigate the immediate emotional impact of failure and reinforces the idea that success is a journey marked by many trials and errors. In creative fields especially, failure is the gateway to innovation. Experimentation by nature involves trial and error. Without the freedom to fail, risk-taking diminishes and creative boundaries narrow. Embracing failure ensures that the process of creation remains dynamic and open-ended, leading to discoveries that would be impossible in a risk-averse environment. Finally, accepting failure as part of the process aligns with a growth mindset. The belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. This mindset contrasts with a fixed mindset, which views failure as a reflection of innate limitations. The growth mindset empowers individuals to see setbacks not as reflections of who they are, but as opportunities to become better versions of themselves. In sum, failure is not the enemy, but a critical ally on the road to success. It offers lessons, fosters humility, builds resilience and drives innovation. By embracing failure rather than fearing it, you unlock your full potential and cultivate the persistence necessary to turn vision into reality. Failure is the forge in which determination and greatness are tempered. When we think about motivation, it's easy to imagine it as a sudden burst of energy or enthusiasm that propels us forward. But true, lasting motivation is something far deeper and more sustainable than just fleeting feelings or external rewards. Motivation that stands the test of time comes from having a clear, personal sense of purpose that guides every action and decision. Purpose acts as the internal compass that keeps you moving forward, even when the road gets tough, the distractions pile up, or progress seems slow. It's the underlying reason behind why you do, what makes the struggles meaningful, and what connects your daily efforts to a bigger vision of your life. Purpose is deeply personal and unique to each individual. It can't be handed to you by someone else or copied from a successful role model. Instead, it must be discovered through introspection, experience, and sometimes struggle. When you align your work and life with something that matters to you, something that resonates with your values and aspirations, you tap into a source of motivation that no obstacle can easily extinguish. Purpose is what gives you the strength to push past fear, boredom, and setbacks, because you see your efforts as part of a meaningful journey, not just a means to an end. This kind of motivation tied to purpose also transforms how you approach challenges. Rather than seeing obstacles as roadblocks or reasons to quit, you start to view them as necessary steps in a process of growth and achievement. Purpose gives you a lens through which setbacks become learning opportunities and difficulties become tests of your commitment. When the why is clear and compelling, the how, no matter how difficult, becomes manageable. This shift in mindset from short-term gratification to long-term vision is what separates fleeting motivation from enduring drive. Purpose also acts as a filter that helps prioritize your time and energy. In a world full of distractions, competing priorities, and endless options, it's easy to get pulled in multiple directions. Without a strong sense of purpose, you risk spreading yourself too thin or chasing goals that don't truly matter. But with purpose, every decision, what to say yes to, what to say no to, becomes clearer. It sharpens your focus and helps you allocate your energy toward activities and relationships that support your core mission. This intentionality prevents burnout because you're not just busy, you're purposeful. Another vital aspect of motivation grounded in purpose is its ability to connect you to others. Purpose is rarely solitary. Whether it's making a positive impact in your community, contributing to a team, or creating something that benefits others, purpose often involves a connection beyond yourself. This connection fuels motivation by providing a sense of belonging and shared meaning. It reminds you that your efforts contribute to something bigger than personal gain. Knowing that your work matters to others can be a profound motivator, inspiring you to keep going when internal drive alone might falter. Sustaining motivation over the long term also requires nurturing your sense of purpose regularly. Purpose isn't a one-time discovery. It evolves as you grow and your circumstances change. This means regularly reflecting on what matters most to you, reassessing your goals, and making adjustments to stay aligned. It's easy to lose sight of purpose in the rush of everyday life or when confronted with setbacks. Taking deliberate time to reconnect with your why refreshes your motivation and helps you regain clarity and direction. Furthermore, purpose, Driven motivation is not about perfection or having everything figured out. It's about commitment to continuous improvement and growth. It's the willingness to embrace uncertainty, take risks, and learn from failures because you believe deeply in the value of your mission. This mindset encourages experimentation and resilience. When you're purpose-driven, you accept that the path to success is rarely linear or smooth, but your commitment keeps you moving forward regardless. The integration of purpose into motivation also influences how you measure success. Instead of focusing solely on external markers like money, status, or approval, you evaluate progress based on alignment with your core values and the impact you're making. This redefinition of success keeps motivation intrinsic and sustainable because it's rooted in authentic fulfillment rather than external validation. It encourages you to celebrate small wins and milestones as signs of meaningful progress, keeping your momentum alive. Lastly, motivation fueled by purpose invites you to live authentically. When you act in alignment with what truly matters to you, your motivation is less vulnerable to external circumstances or other people's opinions. It creates a sense of integrity and confidence because you're not trying to fit into someone else's mold or chase transient trends. You are living your own truth, and that authenticity is magnetic. It attracts opportunities, relationships, and experiences that support your journey, creating a positive feedback loop that further energizes your motivation. In essence, motivation anchored in purpose is the foundation of sustained effort, resilience, and fulfillment. It transforms motivation from a fragile emotion into a powerful, steady force that propels you through challenges and keeps you committed to your goals over time. It's what turns ordinary efforts into extraordinary achievements because you're not just working to get by. You're working to make a difference for yourself and for the world around you.